Hey everyone, I'm EJD. Yes, the J stands for Just Trying to Make It Happen. I'm proud to be a partner with JFL Productions, where creativity meets a little bit of caffeine and a lot of late nights. We turn wild ideas into real stories, and if we're doing our job right, you'll laugh, relate, and maybe even forget you're watching the production. So buckle up, we're just getting started.
Some stories start perfect and some don't. Some start with pain, some start with doubt, and some just start with uncertainty. But it's all a part of your purpose. And December 30th, 1981 is where my journey began. I don't really remember a lot, certain details about my childhood, but the little things I do remember being a fun, loving child. I made good grades in elementary school, was smart. I had a few behavior issues, but maybe a lot of behavior issues, but nothing a good butt whooping didn't handle. But somewhere in between middle school and high school is where things started to change. I started feeling unworthy. I started feeling like I just wasn't good enough, or I just couldn't do it. The more things got difficult, the less I wanted to try. I was always afraid to try because I didn't want to fail, and I still ended up failing. I just couldn't do it. I always told myself, I can't. You can't do that. You're not smart enough. And I went through middle school and high school. I made it to high school, barely, but it's just, I was always afraid to try because in my mind, I'd already told myself that I couldn't do it. But something in the back of my mind always told me I was born to be different. I was born to be a leader, but I just couldn't get the strength or the mental capacity to tap into that leadership, to tap into who I was really destined to be. One day I was hit with reality, and that road became very bumpy and it came to a screeching halt. I got caught skipping school, and at the time, my principal told my mom I probably wasn't going to graduate on time because I was so far behind in high school that I wouldn't come out with anybody else. So my mom told me, you got an ultimatum. You either can leave or you can join the military. When I got to boot camp, I started to enjoy it. I liked where I was. I liked the direction. I liked the things that we were doing. We were having fun. I was like, you know what? I can do this. Finally, I felt like, you know what, maybe this is something that I can do. Even though that was one time, it got a little tough and I tried to run away. But when I got to the fence, to jump the fence, I heard my mom's voice say, nah, you better get your ass back because I'm gonna beat you. You know what? When you come back home. But then I didn't know how to get home. I didn't know how to catch a flight. So I went back to the barracks. I didn't get caught, but I finished. And that was one of my most proud moments. I remember coming into the event hall, and as my division came, it was Division 517, as we came around the corner, although I couldn't see my mom, I didn't know where she was sitting, I heard her voice. I heard her yelling. I knew she was there. I knew she had made it. And that was just one of my most proudest moments. My family was so proud. My brother was proud. Everyone was proud of me. So I felt like I finally did something right. So now, my life is going where it's supposed to go. So I went on to become an aviation electronics technician and doing a lot of good things. I became a supervisor as an E4, which is really unheard of at the time when I joined the military. It was kind of unheard of, but that's when I knew, hey, I was a leader. But even though, they say all good things must come to an end, that's when life came to a screeching halt and my world was shattered. In March of 2004, my biggest supporter, my cheerleader, the only person that I knew I could call on, the only person that I could call when I needed to do something, I wanted to make a decision, or that gave me everything I needed, was called home to be with the Lord. My mom passed away. And now all that drive and determination, and I'm doing this for her, and I'm gonna make her continue to make her proud. I no longer have that person. She's no longer here. So And I was due to get out September of 2004, because that would have been my 4 years. But I didn't want to face life without her. I didn't know what I was coming home to, and just like, Houston, I go back to Houston. She's not there. There's no reason for me to go. Yes, I had other family, I had my brother, but I just didn't know how to do life without my mom. And the only structure and guidance I had was in the Navy. So I signed up, stayed another 4 years, and there was still a sense of emptiness. I still, that feeling that I had when I was growing up in middle school and high school, of this, I can't do this, I'm just not worthy. I was E4 trying to make it to E5, trying to make it to the next rank. I just could not get to the next step, to the next level. So I got out, because I'm like, it's not for me no more. What am I here for? The person that I was doing it for is no longer here. So I came back home in September of 2008. And even then, my life was still just in turmoil, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, what career, where did I want to live. I worked jobs after jobs after jobs. I worked at a career plan. I worked at Target. I tried everything under the sun, and if I didn't like it, I quit. If something went wrong or somebody rubbed me the wrong way, I quit. But my support system that I needed, the one person that I would call when, hey, what should I do in this moment? Should I work here? Should I do this? She wasn't here. Even though I had my aunts, I had my grandmother, I had people that I could call, I wanted to be able to call my mom. So I still felt like my life was headed in no direction. And it's like, who am I going to make proud? Who am I doing this for now? And life just kept going. And then finally, one day, I want to say maybe in around 2014, early 2014, maybe mid, I accepted a job as a security officer. And while riding the bus, I said, you know what? I probably can do this. I think I can drive a bus. It don't look hard. I'm watching the bus drive. I'm watching people get on. And I'm seeing that what I knew bus driver, in my mind, I thought bus drivers made a bunch of money, because I've seen people, I'm like, oh, they got a lot of money. Some of them got nice cars. I'm going to drive a bus. That might be my career. So I did. November 2014, I became a bus operator. Drove for 4 years. But within those 4 years, it still wasn't enough. I was like, yeah, this is not it. I thought God blessed me with the job, but I'm like, this is not it. So to any one of you that's going through something, I'm going to give you 3 tips. Number 1, always show up authentically you. Number 2, keep working hard. And number 3, always trust God's plan. So my brother went in 2009, and I thought I could do that too. But again, those thoughts, that mental, that the emotions, that self-doubt, that me talking myself off the ledge saying, why would you go to the academy? You can't even pass school. You don't even have a degree. You couldn't finish high school. What makes you think you're going to finish the police academy? So I didn't go. Time go on, I'm driving, and things it's just blah. Like, I'm working, and I'm just here. I'm here at this point, just existing. Staying up from there, I was living on people's couches. I was doing a whole lot. My life was just in turmoil. But one day, it hit me again. Be a police officer. I don't know why it hit me. I was just randomly talking to friends in the operating room. Be a police officer. So I said, you know what? Metro has the cadet program. I'm going to apply. I got turned down twice. So I'm like, well, maybe I don't need to be a police officer. I didn't apply with HPD. They turned me down. So I'm like, being a police officer is just probably not for me. But something in my mind clicked. And they said, you can do this. And you have to do this for you. You can't do this for anybody else. You have to do it. So I went to HCC, and I registered, and I joined. And then I told my family about it, and a few people told me, well, you don't see things through to the finish line. You quit when it gets too hard. This is not something that you can quit. This is not something, if you're going to do it, you got to be dedicated to it. So I went, finished, worked part-time, did to the academy part-time, worked full-time at night for 9 months, surviving off little to no sleep. I still did it. I applied with several agencies. Some turned me down. Some I withdrew because I just simply didn't like the atmosphere. So when you're getting close to the end of the academy, you're not getting a job, it's kind of like, well, where do I go from here? No one's picking me up. No one's giving me a job. And then 2 weeks before graduation, I got the call. Metro PD accepted me into their cadet program 2 weeks before graduation, which is really unheard of because usually they sponsor the cadets and you go from start to finish, but they picked me up 2 weeks later. That was if you knew the shout and the dance and the praise that I had in my home when that happened, like God finally heard my praise. I'm finally getting it as things are finally falling into place. And now look at me. Here I am 7 years later, working as a police officer. I'm now in backgrounds and recruiting. I've done a lot of things in the agency, and it's been rewarding, very rewarding. I've been on the tactical team. I was a field trainer. I've done a lot of good things. So this has been a rewarding career. I even went back to school, even though I didn't think I could, but got my associate's degree. And now I'm also number 1 on the sergeant's list. I'm no longer chasing from behind. I'm the next man up. And I have a bachelor's degree. Who would have thought the little kid that was born December 3rd, 1981, who's always had feelings of self-doubt, just unworthy, just can't do, I couldn't do this, I can't do this. And when I changed my vocabulary from I can't to I will and I can, and then I put in the work and trust God, don't tell me what he won't do. So here I am. This is my story. This is my life. This is what made me, all my trials, all the tribulation. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. I've lost, even my mom. And when I thought that losing her was the biggest blow to my chest, which still touches me sometimes and it still hurts me, but I know that she's here. And even though I can't physically talk to her, she's still my number 1 supporter. I know that in these moments that I'm doing, I know she's proud of me. And I know this is what she would want me to do. But most of all, she would want me to do it for myself. I didn't do any of this for anybody else. I don't care if you applaud me. I don't care if you pat me on the back. I'm doing it because I know I can. And I'm doing it to prove to myself that I can stand shoulder to shoulder with anybody and do this job. I can go to school and get my degree. So what's next for me in 2026? Well, I've been accepted into Lamar's graduate program. So now I'm working on my MBA. I'm going to be getting my MBA in criminal justice management. Now, who would have thought that, right? Me in school, but I'm going to do it. If I just put in the work and give the rest to God, who knows where this will take me. New heights, the best is yet to come. And my story is only beginning. So, you're here to celebrate me. And I'm here to celebrate with you. But keep watching, because it only gets better from here.
So what made you want to go and get your master's degree?
For career progression. I know eventually my goal is to be the chief of police or assistant chief, and I want to continue to climb as high through the ranks as possible. So you got to be able to stand out on paper. So I know what is needed for my career progression. And then 2, because I can. And I told myself for so long that I couldn't. So I'm doing this for me, to prove to myself that I can do it.
Got you. And then the last question is, what's the importance of telling your story?
I wanted everybody to hear my story because I don't really talk. I don't really open up. I've learned to bottle a lot and deal with a lot inside. So I wanted to know, my friends and family to know what made me DeAndre and how I got to this point in life. Because it wasn't easy. And for anyone who's going through what I've been through, it's a journey, but it's my journey. So what's next for 2026? I think I'm gonna go just a little bit higher. I got accepted into Lamar's graduate program, so I'm gonna get my master's, my MBA in criminal justice management. I wanna promote. I wanna move up just a little bit higher. One day, you never know, I might be the chief of police at Metro, but the only way to do that is with an education. So, and most of all, I'm gonna take I can't out of my vocabulary, and it's gonna be I can. I can do all things through Christ who's my strength. And if I just put forth the work, the effort, and the determination and change my mentality and the way I think and just trust God, anything's possible. So this is D-Stubb. This is me. Take it or leave it. But I'm here. And the chapter's only beginning. And just like that, the story comes to a close. If this documentary kept your attention, challenged your thinking, or made you see things a little differently,
than we did when we were set out to do. If you would like this experience that we made memorable come to you, then book us for your future life stories.